In just a few weeks, a new state law will take effect that further restricts local law enforcement from cooperating with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, also known as ICE. The new law is called Local Cops, Local Crimes Act. With these new provisions, the Niagara County Sheriff's Office has canceled its agreement with ICE that allows detainees whose crime is illegally crossing into the U.S. from being housed at Niagara County jails.
We are now joined by Niagara County Sheriff Michael Filicetti to talk more about his office being forced to fall in line. Sheriff, thanks for joining us here. My question about this new law, which says local cops, local crimes, so as to say that these federal issues are not local. I don't feel like that applies, especially in a place like Niagara County, where a local crime is without question someone crossing a border because they're crossing a border into your community.
I couldn't have said it any better. One of the things that I really object to is Albany telling us what is a crime and how we should be protecting our communities here. We're a border county. It's obvious that we have to deal with immigration issues here. So under the new legislation, they're saying, get rid of your agreement with ICE. You're no longer allowed to house immigration violations in your correctional facility. That is a piece of paper to me. I'm going to continue to cooperate with immigration officials as I see fit to keep the county safe.
When you say that, as I see fit, what could that look like?
So we don't have the option to just turn a blind eye. If you could look back a couple of years ago, we had a lot of people crossing from Canada, and we had a lot of residents that were very upset in those towns in the lower Niagara River area, and they looked at me at a public meeting and said, please tell us that you're cooperating with Border Patrol to keep our community safe. So to say immigration violations or immigration law doesn't intersect with local policing is incorrect. And I really just think this is just a political agenda out of Albany. What I would really like to see is for them to come to Niagara County to see how we interact with our immigration enforcement folks and really, instead of sitting in Albany and telling us what's best in Niagara County.
This is something that has been a frustration for you. Your appearance here comes from a letter that you had penned recently out to the state talking about your concerns about this law. What does the state want you to do, and could it cost you, your department, even more resources?
So we're losing financially. We lose when we don't house. And keep in mind, the people that we're housing at our facility are now going to be dispersed. Some could be on the other side of the United States. They could be anywhere. So they're no longer local. We're no longer. We don't have a piece of paper to say we're going to work with ICE, but we will continue to work with immigration authorities in our county, whatever that may look like. If we stop a car and we believe the people to be here illegally, we're going to contact immigration to make that determination. Where it gets dicey is they talk about criminal illegal enforcement and then civil illegal enforcement. And really, sometimes those lines are blurred because we don't know who we're stopping and we don't know what their violations necessarily are or their crimes are until Border Patrol or ICE were to come there and figure that out.
That's a good point.
Now, to that point, what is the procedure now, and how will this change that procedure? Because, of course, if someone is here, regardless of immigration status, if they commit a crime, it is incumbent on the department to then arrest that person. So how does this now affect those people who will be committing crimes?
So if they commit a local crime, and we bring them to our jail, we will still honor detainers. So if they're deemed to be here illegally, before they get released, we will notify the appropriate authority, whether it's ICE or Border Patrol, to come and get that individual. So they're not released out onto the street. That is absolute, we have to do that. Now, if we encounter somebody, we will contact Border Patrol or ICE, whatever is appropriate. Typically Border Patrol for us on the border, and we will have them come and we will turn them over to them and let them make the determination of what happens with them next. The only thing that's really changing is I cannot house somebody merely on a civil immigration violation in my jail. The piece of paper that they want to get rid of, fine, get rid of my piece of paper. I'm still going to do what I need to do, what I deem fit, in the county to keep our community safe, because I have seen the effects of border crossings and what that looks like. for us.
Mike, one of the other reasons why we like to hear from you is because in the past you have held leadership positions across the state, including as a past president of the Sheriff's Association. So president of all the sheriffs across the state, which means you are a liaison. You certainly are an advocate for them. What do you hear from them? Because this is not just an issue that is affecting Niagara County. There are many border counties. What else are you hearing across the state?
In discussions with other sheriffs, they're upset. And it really isn't just about local cops, local crime. It's about all the legislation that comes out of Albany. You have people that sit in Albany, the majority in Albany, the governor, the attorney general, and they tell us what's best, but they never talk to the people that actually do the job. And that is the frustrating part. And that's what I hear from all the sheriffs when we talk to them, on our conference call every week, that nobody wants to hear what we have to say. They want to tell the police how to police, but they're not police. And they never come to our counties to see what we have going on. So it's very challenging in the environment in New York State right now.
The Saratoga County Sheriff has shared interest in possibly joining what appears to be a planned lawsuit in hopes to stop this from moving forward. Is that something that you would be interested in joining on as well?
Right now, we're not getting onto that. There was just federal litigation where they were not, it wasn't favorable for the federal government at this point in time to try to stop this 287G law. So we're going to take a wait and see approach on litigation. Again, whether I have this piece of paper saying that I'm going to work with ICE, I'm going to continue doing what I have to do regardless of litigation. I think that's what we have to do.
Mike, we appreciate it. Thank you so much, Sheriff, for joining us here. This is obviously an issue that is important to a lot of people in law enforcement and certainly on the other side of this bill as well. We appreciate what you and the department does to keep our community safe.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sheriff.